Today's show is brought to you by Women of Faith, Faith in Public Life. Calling all women of faith, it's time to come together and unite around our shared values of justice, equality, and dignity for all people. We believe the current moment is an urgent referendum on the values that will shape our nation's future. While many political issues pose complex moral questions, this election poses a stark moral choice. Women of faith come from a long lineage of freedom fighters, barrier breakers, and change agents. We've been leaders of liberation, defenders of the least, funders of movements, and spreaders of good news. We've raised generation after generation to resist and fight oppression. From Dolores Huerta to Sylvia Riviera and Dorothy Day, women have led and will continue to lead our movements. You can too. Meet us at faithinpubliclife.org/women of faith to build community, fight for justice, and unleash your faith for good.
This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, and it's the Relevant Podcast. It's Election Day, too, everybody. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author and podcaster, Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
Proud to be an American.
Did y'all do your civic duty? Did y'all vote?
I did.
Nice.
Yes.
I voted early, and I had an observation about this because I voted early at the rec center, and I had to wait in line over an hour. Oh, this is like a week before the election, and it was just spread out through the parking lot. And well, I had a couple of things that I wanted to.
You waited in line an hour
for just to vote early,
dude. I voted early, and it was 5 minutes. I voted early on an impulse because I was driving by and I was like, oh, that line looks pretty short, and I pulled in.
See, I planned it and everything. I was like, I'm not going to do the first day of early voting at this particular location. I'm going to wait a couple days. No, it didn't help at all. So first, when you go up there, can we do away with the campaign signage? Like, it seems so wasteful to me. It's like 50 signs of the same signs right in a row. It's like, or at least one sign per candidate. That would solve a lot of this because there's a lot of waste happening right there. It's like, look, if you're trying to get me right here, I've made my decision by now. Like, do you think I'm walking up to the poll being like, oh, yes, I'm almost there. Who am I going to vote for?
There's a lot of nice logos right there. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There's 40 of them right in a row. I'll vote for that person. Then they also had one of, I'm not going to reveal the name of the politician. I'll let people just assume who it is. That really just made me sad because it was a giant hanging picture of a politician. It was a painting riding on a tank with money going everywhere and an eagle landing on his shoulder, and it was not Iraq. And I was thinking, like, this is like, is this the end of democracy? Like, what is happening here? What is happening right now? Who hung that there? And did they think that's going to sway anyone? Like, if anything, it's going to sway people the other way. The other thing, too, is like, guys, pen and paper.
There's a demographic out there that,
Hey, pen and paper, there's got to be a better way. You know, like, I can pay my credit card online pretty securely. They can't figure this out. Like, I feel like this is a big deterrent for people who either, don't have like childcare or have to work or have other obligations that they don't have half a day to go stand in a parking lot. They can't do the Chick-fil-A thing. Okay. I go up to a Chick-fil-A in a line and look, there's just as many people waiting for a sandwich. And that's actually something they have to make. They got to make all those meals. They got to cook them. Like, right. I'm just going out fill out a piece of paper. You got those cats with the iPads just walking around the entire drive-through. It's seamless. Why can't we have an iPad situation? Why can't we get the Chick-fil-A team out there in the parking lots walking? And I would even buy a sandwich. I would even say, you know what? I've been out here for like 45 minutes. I'll do my vote on your little iPad. And if you can get me a number one with a large sweet tea, that'd be fantastic. Like, I just combine them into one great experience.
Whoever runs the Chick-fil-A drive-thru needs to run the government. That is absolutely true.
They're the GOAT.
That's what I'm saying. True. There's just as many people at any given moment on lunch break at a Chick-fil-A than there are lined up to vote early, and no one feels disenfranchised leaving Chick-fil-A. It's a polite. It was their pleasure. It was their pleasure to do it.
So weird.
Have you seen the Trump campaign ad where he calls Joe Biden a zombie?
No. Was it a Halloween themed campaign ad?
It is the funniest thing. Clark, I just dropped it into the chat. Can we cue that thing up? I just want y'all to, because when you talked about the money tank, it kind of reminded me of this. This was the most bizarre thing I ever saw on YouTube in my life.
Here's how you can spot a zombie. Look for someone who has a corpse-like appearance, exhibits aggressive behavior, craves human flesh, and utters incoherent moans and groans.
I don't know.
With your help, we can prevent the zombie uprising.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
So, like, when he's like, craves human flesh, it has him sniffing some girl's hair. And then Joe Biden, it's like a picture of him, and he looks like I thought to myself, I said,
that is too funny.
we have stumbled into a place in this election.
Well, not only that,
I never thought we'd go.
Even when you're watching the debates, it's like, they're both sitting there attacking and defending like personal alleged transgressions, right? The whole time. Right. And it's like, can you guys just shut up about that for a second? What are you doing for us? Can we ignore his laptop, his kid's laptop, and his, debts and all that? Can you do me a favor? Can you guys settle that somewhere else? Can you just tell us what you're doing for us, the people who are voting for you?
Box.
Yeah.
I just think they should put gloves on and just straight up get in the ring. And I just want to see those dudes go at it. I want to see them box. I think that would be great.
Guess what? This is the last day that we get to talk about this. Hallelujah. I'm so happy. Hey, nope. we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, hip-hop artist KB joins us. He has a new album out. We talked to him about that. You close to KB? That's
my brother. I love KB. KB is an amazing man.
There you go.
Good
He's coming up later. It's going to be a good one. Also, our senior editor, Tyler Huckabee, is going to join me in the middle of the show, and we're going to tell you about the brand new issue of Relevant. The November-December issue dropped yesterday. We're going to tell you about it. If you saw it, we have a cover story with the one and only Matthew McConaughey.
What?
Matthew McConaughey talking about his faith, talking about Jesus. Tyler Huckabee told me after he got out of that interview and he was working on the story a few days later, he said, Cameron, in all the years I've been doing celebrity interviews for Relevant and other places, this is the best piece I've ever written. This is unbelievable. So
he's so dope.
Yeah. And he went there as soon as Jesse, you can attest. A lot of times when A-listers, you kind of hint around about the God question. We want to talk faith or whatever. A lot of times they're kind of real light on their answer, right? Mm. McConaughey took the bait and ran with it for an hour. That's all he wanted to talk about. It's unbelievable. We also, in the issue, have Letitia Wright. She's incredible. We got some bangers. We got some bangers.
Yeah, okay.
New issue of Relevant.
Letitia Wright, this is an interesting, I don't have it right off the top of my head, but an interesting piece of trivia. There was one year where her films made more money than any other actor or actress in the entire world. She had more global box office.
Because she was in Star Wars, she was in Black Panther, she was in
The Avengers, but then also some of the smaller non-franchise movies that she was in also performed really well. Yeah. She's incredible.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and she's a woman of faith and
talks about it with us at Relevant. So Tyler's joining us in a couple of segments to talk about that. We want y'all to see it. We'll tell you behind the scenes stories. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a theme going on. It's election day, so I'm playing all America music. Also, we have your feedback at the end of the show. So stay tuned. It's gonna be a packed one. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Police be tripping up. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. Hey, I gotta carry 'em. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is Gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the bag.
You're listening to Childish Gambino. The song is This Is America. I told you all the songs would be kind of election voting focused. Well, today's show is brought to you by Samaritan Ministries. Let's be honest, talking about health insurance is not something anyone really likes to do. It can be confusing with lots of jargon, plus who really knows what it's actually going to take care of. That's why Samaritan Ministries is a health care option you should consider. It's not insurance. It's Christians sharing healthcare costs and encouraging one another when there's medical need. Here's how it works. You choose your healthcare provider. Medical bills are sent to Samaritan Ministries. They notify members to pray and send you money for your shareable bills. The money received is used to pay for your medical expenses. Health care sharing is biblical and affordable. Samaritan members directly share healthcare costs with other members, and the cost for an individual can be as low as $75 a month. You can join Samaritan Ministries any time of year, so why not today? Samaritan members know that when an illness or injury happens, fellow members are there to support them. Learn more at samaritanministries.org/relevant podcast. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, I have ready to eat some humble pie because I have rethought my position on outer space, and I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
Because of a new study by scientists that have identified an asteroid that actually they have a ranking system for asteroids that are threats to Earth. Right. Yeah. And the number 1 and number 2 threats to Earth, they are giant asteroids that if they collide with Earth, it's going to be really, really bad.
Like
the good
dinosaurs.
News, yeah. The good news about 1 and 2 is they're like 800 years in the future. So we don't got to really worry about them.
Okay.
But they have identified a new one, a new threat that is in the number 3 spot that they say
with a bullet.
Yeah, it is not, I would say this, it's not likely, but there is a very small chance that it could impact Earth directly. Like there are, trajectories that they have calculated that could have a direct impact with Earth. And so much so that they've ranked it number 3 on the list. But the reason why it's notable is because this one would hit Earth in 2068. That's right, just 48 years in the future. So we got a little runway to figure this out.
We could all still be here.
We got a little runway to figure this out, okay? And so, again, I'll be honest, it's a very, very small chance, but it's still possible. And here's what I want to do right now on the record. If this asteroid, if we're 45 years in and we're still worried about this, okay? So it's 48 years. I will be a man in my 80s, and I'm volunteering right now to go up there and Armageddon this thing, Bruce Willis style. Now, hopefully, you can get me off that rock, okay? But if not, me and a team of ragtag oil drillers will go up there, and I will be the
There will
savior.
be no oil drillers in 45 years.
I'll find someone. I'll find Owen Wilson will be with me. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Wow. 48 years. Wow. That's my we'll go up there. So again, we have enough runway right now. We might as well start picking the team, okay? Because you want people that have a lot of experience. You can study this a long time. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there right now. I am volunteering 85-year-old me to go up there and do what I can to push this thing off the track. Hopefully, you guys can get me back down here. But I will be the savior of humanity if it comes to that. In my 80s, I'm going to go ahead and volunteer. So it's nothing to be concerned about right now. But if it did impact Earth, things would not be great. And so hopefully, the track, like I said, it's a less than 1% chance, but it's not. Anytime there's a non-zero chance of an asteroid colliding directly with Earth, it's something to keep an eye on. Like I said, thankfully, we got about almost 50 years of runway here to figure something out. So, but I just want to put this on everybody's radar and go ahead and you might want to cancel any plans in 2068. I'd hate for you
just
to
in case.
hate for you to lose that Airbnb deposit.
All right, what do you have, Jamie?
Okay, so I like to bring some good news, right? This is
Yes.
not that Jesse's wasn't good news, but it is a
It's
little
very good news that
It's-
he's going to save Earth.
The good news
That's
is
exactly
I
right.
volunteer tribute. That's it.
Thank you in
He's the
advance,
tribute.
Jesse. I appreciate you, bro.
You're welcome. You're
He's
welcome.
the tribute.
For sure.
Jesse, we'll miss you. We'll miss you. But,
But we
not
get
for long.
45 more years with you, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look on the bright side.
So I have some good news. I love bringing good stories. And this is a story from Ireland. And 2 sisters actually saw a problem, took something and did something with it. Izzy and her sister, they used to love playing dress up when they were younger. And Izzy has spina bifida. So she uses a wheelchair. She has been in a wheelchair her whole life. And her sister, who went to the National College of Art and Design in Dublin, she was allowed to do anything she wanted. Anything she wanted as a final project, which is like the world is yours, whatever you want to do. And she designed wheel covers for her sister's chair. So she designed these really cool covers for her sister's chair. They put them up online, and then it started going crazy, went viral. They got messages from other artists and other designers from around the world who wanted to also design stuff. And so listen to this. They started enlisting artists to create wheels for Izzy and her friends, and the project kept growing. And then she started a company. And so now they design amazing covers to go on people's wheelchairs so that they can have the style, and they don't look like, your typical wheelchair that you see running around. And so I love it so much. She said rather than her wheelchair being something that people might be nervous about, it turns it into something that is a conversation piece. So I get so excited when I see people make they just say we can do whatever we want. And she's created these wheelchair covers for her sister, and now they're changing the world and changing little kids' lives. I mean, if you look at their Instagram, there's awesome. Little kids in their wheelchairs, and they're so excited about the artisticness that they have on their cover. So love stories like that.
That is awesome. That's a really great story. Dope. Yeah.
Just a side note, there was a disabled brother at MTSU, and I forgot what his name was, but literally he had a sound system on his wheelchair.
On his wheelchair? That's awesome. Amazing.
It was the dopest thing in life. You literally would hear him coming, and he'd whip his wheelchair up, and he's banging Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
I love it.
It was cool. So dope. So, that was definitely a Pimp My Ride situation. For sure.
That's really funny. That's cool. Good story. All right. What do you have, Derek?
Yo, so I don't know if you guys know this, but my childhood is about to be the new Generation Z's childhood, because Saved by the Bell is coming back, baby.
I saw that.
Coming back, baby. And if you saw the trailer, I kind of like it. It's Bayside.
Really?
I do, dog. I'm going to keep it real. I kind of like it. It's the rich neighborhood, and then you got the black kid. You got Mario Lopez trying to help them navigate through this crazy suburban rich. It's almost it kind of like they took Fresh Prince and mixed it with Saved by the Bell. Kind of feels a little bit like that.
So is it a remake, or the same characters are older?
So the same characters are older. Clark, I think you got a clip. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yo, Mama. Sorry, Dr. Mama.
How do you think this year's gonna go for these new students?
I'm psyched.
You're excited for the first day of school?
Let's go. Why is everybody so rich?
Are you ready for my party Saturday night?
I got DJ Khaled's Baby to make you a playlist. It's okay.
Time out. What is up with these kids?
In attendance will be the governor of California.
Max, Dad?
You look amazing and your hair's fire.
My dad's also coming.
I don't care about your dad, Spencer. I just care about Zach and Kelly.
We all want these new kids to feel welcome. Let's see what happens.
Can we talk?
Did you just sit backwards in a chair? Wow, never seen anyone do that in real life.
It's not gonna work unless we get to know them.
You only know how Bayside works for kids like you.
Hot kids, privileged kids. Privileged kids.
All right, so I think the only person that's not coming back is Screech.
Yeah, they're all back. They're all back.
Yeah, everybody's back but Screech. And I'm kind of sad that Screech isn't coming back.
And Mr. Belding's not there.
He got kind of weird.
Yeah, that's kind
Here's
of
my thing. If you want to see it, so we posted it at relevantmagazine.com if you want to watch it. You need to watch it. Here's my issue with it. So I feel like what was great about Saved by the Bell was it was light and fluffy and stupid. It was just, and at the same time, it knew what it was. It just, It was light. And so they're bringing it back, but they're trying to make it all like Riverdale. They're trying to make it dramatic and shot all cinematically and stuff. And I'm going, it's not One Tree Hill. It was Saved by the Bell. But they're trying to bring it back and turn it into One Tree Hill. And it's just to me, it loses what was Saved by the Bell.
So are they trying to get us, who we used to watch it again? Or do they want my kids to watch it?
Who's this for?
Because is it for my kids or for me?
It's emphasizing the high school stuff. So it's just what? It's kind of like trying to be Riverdale. And it's who is this for? I don't get it.
I have a totally different beef. And I'm glad I have an opportunity to get it off my chest.
Please.
Because do you guys remember back in the day when Saved by the Bell, OG Saved by the Bell, and occasionally Zach
Not
Morris,
the college years.
not the college years, not even. I'm talking early Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be episodes. where it's Zach Morris but freeze time.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing the mannequin challenge thing, and Zach Morris is just walking down the halls, and he's looking directly. He breaks the fourth wall, and he looks right at you and explains what he can do, and he'll mess with someone's trapper keeper and turn it upside down or something, and then snap his fingers, unpause time. What happened to that ability? And is he finally going to bring it back? Is he fine? Because that's a show I would watch. Honestly, like, I don't really care about them going back as teachers. I just don't. Like, it
you
doesn't
just want them to freeze time.
If it was like that same trailer, and it's like, and someone has a superpower he left on the shelf a long time ago, and it's just Zach Morris like, that's right, and snaps, and everything just freezes. Now that's a show. One of them has superpowers. I'm in. Like, why not? I just feel like
in this reboot, Zach is the governor.
I love it.
AC Slater is working at the school as the coach.
Yep.
I don't know what I
Where's
think.
Kelly Kapowski?
She's in it. I don't know. But like the trailer shows them like doing a band and stuff. Like they're 40-year-old adults. Like,
would you rather
they
see
didn't give Kelly a lot of love in the trailer.
Real talk. Would you rather see that concept of them in a band, just adults doing adult 40-something things, or would you rather see Zach Morris be able to stop time and maybe stop crime?
Jesse.
Okay.
Thank you.
I smell what you're cooking.
So you're trying to go in the direction of like The Boys or something. Like you're trying to take them superhero. Okay.
Exactly. It's canon. It's in the canon. Okay, I'm not going outside of the Saved by the Bell universe. It's already an established rule that Zach can do that, and I think that would be a more interesting show personally. That's all.
And then maybe the nemesis, his arch rival, is actually Screech.
Yeah,
like the Joker,
and that's why he's not
Batman.
there.
Yeah, and he's found some way. It's like Steve Urkel, who could build crazy inventions in his basement.
Time machines.
Yeah.
Guys,
like
what just happened? We
just did a new show.
And this one it sounds way better. It sounds way better than what they came up with.
Sounds way better than a wannabe Riverdale. Yeah. All right, well, go check out the trailer. Derek's excited.
I'm excited. I'm gonna watch that one for real.
All right, stay tuned. Up next, KB joins us.
Serving these spit truth that burn like black churches, codes and verses, a million pouring hearses. Watch decision of dread God as it reverses. Long as they root was tied around when we as neck, let there be no rich white light.
You're listening to Rage Against the Machine. The song is Voice of the Voiceless. The theme continues on. Well, today's episode is brought to you by podcast creation platform Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor yet, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. There are custom tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every major platform. The cool thing is you can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Well, Tampa native KB is a Christian hip-hop artist and leader of the group HGA. Over the last decade, he released 5 solo projects with Reach Records, and this year he ventured out and released his new album, His Glory Alone, on Essential Sound. Our very own Tyler Huckabee recently sat down with KB to discuss the project. Here's our conversation with KB.
Yeah, never finna change, take it to the grave, I'll be honest. Yeah, we see the dead race here, another day at the office. Yeah, holy, I'ma burn for the Father. Gather around and fight against any Hunter. Free, we the sons and the daughters. Remember him, let my name is forgotten. And he in control, yeah. And he got the soul, got the shows, yeah. Bow down, take a knee, that's what I propose, yeah. Homie, what your manners? No cap. Every nation's anthem, we'll have to kneel to Hosanna on. Lord now, been Lord then. Never waited for endorsement.
I would think it's got to be especially difficult for you as somebody who's not only involved in the culture, but you've got a platform. You know, you've got a mouthpiece. You've got a microphone, literally. Do you feel like there's a pressure on you from fans, from people to have something to say?
To a certain degree, yes. I think my tribe, if you will, I know that's not the best word to use these days, for good reason. But I think the folks who trust me and know me and would look to me as not just a truth teller, but a leader. And I think they want to know what I think about these issues. I think those are the folks that I find that are locked into the podcast, Southside Rabbi, and I'm getting to interact with them via the community app. Well, a month ago, right before my album came out, I did we sold these VIP packages. So you could pay an amount of money and you get to spend 5 minutes with me via Zoom. The moment I saw their face, they started talking to me, I started talking to them. I felt renewed, re-energized. And that period of time was mainly counseling for the most part. People coming to me with, what do you think about this? What do I do about that? So I think, yes, they do. Now, there is another contingency within my audience that doesn't care what I think about this unless it's a reiteration of what they think about what's going on. So if it's their words out of my mouth, then they'll appreciate what's being said. So I think that's pretty much my landscape.
Do you feel like when people come to you with with their issues, they want to talk to you about how they're dealing with this stuff, probably with their churches, their families, their neighborhoods, the communities. Right. Do you ever feel kind of like this pressure, like, I don't know what to do? Like you didn't start doing music to speak into people's lives about issues this big, but here you are, and now you're doing it, ready or not. Is that difficult?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has its challenges. I think particularly two challenges come to mind. One is when we get to the place where I'm just not equipped to deal with this. I can't speak to the realms of the soul that require professionals, psychologists and historians and theologians, I think the other issue is that there isn't enough time for us to peel back all the ways. I mean, typically a lot of times when somebody finds themselves in error, it's not an isolated thing. It's a web. It's like conspiracies. We always say that nobody just believes one conspiracy. You often find that they exist in a whole myriad of things. You can start talking about one issue, but then it starts to overlap into another. And before we know it, we got to go back to Genesis 1. Before we can get to, redemption and the end of the gospel. So I find those are the two things that are challenging. I do think that there is a uniqueness of my situation because by God's grace, I stumbled on a rap career. My whole thing before was I was heading to seminary. I was going to get my degree in biblical counseling. The only degree that I have outside of an associate's from a community college that I got when I was in high school, but outside of that, I have a bachelor's in theology, and I most identify the core of who I am as a minister of the gospel, a shepherd of God's people. And then the hip hop thing is kind of like a working of that. So I do think that this is the Lord being sneaky and how he put together my life. They call it Jehovah Sneaky, and putting my life together that I do feel some kind of excitement and energy for the task because I feel prepared for.
Hold up. Yeah, I got a God, don't change with the season. 10,000 reasons I can believe in. God so good, say less I'm breathing. Yeah, tick tock, I'm a believer. I got a God, don't change with the season. 10,000 reasons that I can believe in. God so good, say less I'm breathing. 10,000 reasons. ACA, that's the law. New sheriff in it.
I know it's been about a month now, I suppose, but can we talk about His Glory Alone a little bit?
Of course.
This whole year has been strange, but the summer especially, this came out on the heels of an enormously fraught summer, particularly when it comes to race. When you went in to tackle this project, what were some of the chief messages or themes that you really wanted to deliver with this album?
I wanted to look at the culture and say, y'all don't need to hear more personalities, my guy. Y'all don't need to hear more interesting stories and cool families with, they got the Christian celebrity with his hot wife and their perfect children and their wonderful. Y'all don't need any more celebrity Christian personality. What I think what y'all need is a reimagining, a recasting of the character of God. And that's what I think a lot of people walked away from the album is, God is really in control. Like, he's really real. I've heard that from few people. It's not a very sophisticated statement, but we need to be reminded that God is really real. And I get that when I kind of sit with who he is. And then I believe in in concepts like the song Dark Skin on my album, where it's a song about the image of God when it's on dark skin. I grew up watching the image of God being devalued by my neighbor, the image of God on me, the image of God on them, and then the image of God on myself. I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see. The glory of God, as it expresses itself in its crown creation, in making image bearers, has been strained. And what we want to do is break out of that and align ourselves with what the glory of God would say, which is with the Song of Solomon, chapter 1, that you are dark and lovely, that the image of God is expressing itself in purposely giving you melanin. Melanin was God's idea. That's what I want people in various ways to walk away with from my album, how the glory of God speaks to all these things, and then lining up with it, you find yourself.
I'm wondering if you could speak to myself and other people and the people who listen to this or read this who are white, who kind of are like, well, can't we just get over that? You know, whatever. Or can't we just we don't see race. God doesn't see race. So why do we have to make this a conversation? Because I'm sure you've heard that. What do you say to those critics?
I think, number one, there are many gospel believing. If I'm assuming that most of the audience that will listen to this is Christian. I think if that's the case, I would want to first tell you that there are a lot of solid gospel preaching, theologically orthodox men and women of color that have been talking about these issues for years, like a John Perkins or Thabiti Nwabwili, or there's individuals who have went to school and become historians for the glory of God to help the church to understand these things, like Jamar Tisby in his wonderful book, Color of Compromise, which is just this historical walkthrough. It just gives you the greatest hits of the story in the church. And there are individuals who are for you and for the church. John 17, the high priestly prayer, that the world would know that Christ has been sent because his people are living together as one. There are individuals who believe that with all their heart. And division is the furthest thing from their mind and the very thing that they're trying to get rid of because we are divided. The Church of Jesus Christ is about one of the most segregated institutions in America. And when I say segregation, I'm not meaning it in the terms of that which was passed down by the government, making black people not worship with white people. What I'm talking about is that we are not integrated, that there's still a massive gap between white worshipers and black worshipers and brown worshipers, that we are typically retreated to our own corners. Our separation isn't mere happenstance, but there are things in place that keep us divided, and we want to tear those things down. So I would encourage you to look at those divides and say, why? And how does the gospel speak to those? And I don't think you're going to be able to land on anything besides to run after them and engage and bring gospel grace to them.
These are obviously extraordinarily difficult conversations that require a lot of nuance. Right. And I appreciate how, in this conversation, how much nuance you've been able to bring to it. That, to me, as a non-songwriter, non-musician, it seems like that'd be very difficult to do in music because you've got like rhythms and meters and beats, and it's got a rhyme. So bringing this level of thoughtfulness to your creative output seems like it would be sort of complicated. Is that a pressure that you feel, or how do you work with that?
Yeah, I feel like Nina Simone, she's like, man, Lord God, please don't let me be misunderstood. I mean, an artist hates being misunderstood. Well, you hate being misunderstood if it means people are turning against you. if you misunderstood, but they keep buying tickets, you're like, well, you know what happens. But nevertheless, I think that there is definitely a burden for the artist to not sell out trying to over explain themselves where something just feels like a, didactic lecture and then you lose creativity and interpretation, because we want to leave space at the table for all sorts of people to come sit and enjoy themselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to have to be committed to Jesus to even hear or understand anything that we're saying. That would defeat the point. We want folks who don't know Jesus to engage with us so that they can meet him, so they can feel helped and served and loved. So it's difficult to kind of do both well. Point one is I'm going to get canceled, and if there's a bunch of trolls, I guess I got to deal with it. And point two, that if there are people who are actually, struggling with something, because maybe I didn't say something clear enough, or I did say something that could be taken the wrong way, I do want to not come in entitled like, well, forget you then. You know what I'm saying? I do want to feel a bit of humility that your support is a gift to me. And I'm not necessarily entitled to it. And I want to leave space for me to engage with those who are looking actually for more leadership through their critique.
That was KB. Check out his new album, His Glory Alone, wherever you get your music. You're listening to Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. Got the election theme going deep, a little nuanced on that one. Okay, I'm going to break the fourth wall and talk to y'all like adults. This podcast is not recorded in a linear fashion most weeks. We do a lot of editing. We have to redub stuff. We have to do things out of order. And this segment that you're about to hear is one of those times that we're doing something out of order. If you notice, my voice sounds different than it did 30 seconds ago. And that's because we are recording this segment the day after the brand new issue of Relevant released. I'm sick. That's what it comes down to. We worked all night. I am on no sleep and woke up with a cold. So you're going to hear my stuffed up froggy throat. And I apologize. Welcome back to the show, our senior editor, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, I feel great.
Yeah, you worked all weekend during like daylight hours, and then I procrastinaed and waited until
you came in after me
PM on Sunday. And
well, you had to wait till I was done. You had to come in. You had to come in and just pick up the chaff that I left behind.
I worked from 2 p.m. on Sunday till almost 6 a.m. on Monday. And then and then the office started messaging me at 8 a.m. on Monday. So hence my voice.
I think that effort shows. I think that effort shows in the product.
Well, we're a small team, all hands on deck, and we're excited. I mean, this is a fun issue. Yeah. It's issue 103 of Relevant. It's, for those of you who have been print subscribers over the years, you've probably gotten our emails. You probably know what's going on. But we put the print magazine on hiatus at the end of last year. 2020 has been a lot of upheaval in media. We wanted to kind of step back, assess, and kind of make sure that we move forward with a smart plan for 2020 and beyond. So what we're doing with the magazine is what we're calling digital first publishing. We are releasing 6 digital issues, 6 bi-monthly issues each year. And then we will end the year with a print annual edition of the best content throughout the year. So our November-December digital first issue just released. It came out on Monday, featuring the one and only Matthew McConaughey on the cover.
Yeah. It was, and I think I mentioned this to you, Cameron. I think this might be, I've had a lot of really fun conversations, but this might be my favorite celebrity profile that I've ever worked on.
Yeah, a lot of times celebrities, they're doing the press cycle because they're promoting something, right? And then obviously our conversation, we want the relevant conversation to have a little bit more substance. We want to talk about faith. We want to talk about things that aren't necessarily in their PR promo mindset, right? So sometimes celebrity interviews are very difficult. That you told me was not the case with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, they came, this isn't always the case, but his people came to us and said, Matthew McConaughey wants to talk about God. And we said, well, we do that here. We have the ability, we have the means, and sure enough, that is what he did. It was a really, I found it to be a very vulnerable conversation with him on his part. He was extremely open, not just about his thoughts, but about some of the things that have happened in his life that he's not super proud of, and the things feels like he's had to atone for, both with himself, with his family, and with God as well. And we were able to get into all of that. It was exactly what you would think a conversation with Matthew McConaughey might be like if you've seen True Detective or those Lincoln ads. But it was also extremely vertical in its focus, and I loved putting this together. And I'm really grateful to him for being willing to sit down and be so open to indulge my curiosity about his thoughts on all that.
I honestly learned a lot. I had no idea that he believed what he believed, that he's a Christian, that he goes to church every week. He said he goes to church every week. Like I had no clue. To me, he's just an A-lister known for all right. Like I didn't know how much substance there was to his worldview. It was a fascinating piece.
Really thoughtful guy. Yeah, really, really thoughtful person.
We're not going to take you through every story, but we're going to hit some of the highlights for you. If you want to read the issue, this issue is completely free because of the generous support of UHSM. You've heard the ads for UHSM health sharing here on the podcast. You've seen them on the site. They are the presenting exclusive sponsor of issue 103. And so because of their support, the entire issue is free and available. All you have to do is go to relevantmagazine.com. It's right there in the nav. You can click magazine and you can see all this stuff for yourself. The lineup on this is, we've done 103 issues, man. And I can't recall having so many just like hit it out of the ballpark. It was a stacked lineup. One of my favorite pieces in it was your conversation with Letitia Wright.
Yeah. This Letitia Wright is somebody who's been in kind of my wish list for a long time to get into this issue. She obviously came across our radars first in Black Mirror, then in Black Panther, and now in the excellent new film anthology she has coming out on Amazon Prime later on this month, directed by Steve McQueen. It's called Small Acts. She's wonderful in it. And she's always been extremely outspoken about her faith. As her star has gotten bigger, she's only gotten more bold about it. So we knew there was a conversation there. It just took the stars had to align for our times to match up, and it finally did. And she did not disappoint. She is a wonderful conversationalist.
You just threw an astrology reference in that. Maybe it's just divine favor. Maybe it has nothing to do with astrology.
I'm telling you, I had a conversation with Matthew McConaughey. I'm seeing things in a different way, man. I'm seeing new colors.
Oh man, it's a good one. And she's one of the few Hollywood stars that is absolutely, she's like Chris Pratt level outspoken about her faith. And
really interesting. I'm always kind of interested with people who were not. She wasn't raised in a Christian household. This was not a situation where she kind of inherited this from her parents. This was a later on decision in life that she made because she needed to make some changes. This is the one she made. I won't give away the full story here, but it's a really good one, and I'm really grateful for her for being willing to tell it too.
On the music side, we have Social Club Misfits. They just dropped a brand new album on Friday, and we have a feature with them on Monday. Look at us. Social Club Misfits is in the issue. Judah and the Lion, one of our favorite indie bands, they're in the issue. Here's how good that piece was. that piece is so good that Judah and the Lion emailed Tyler and said, man, what a great piece. Thank you so much. Like, that doesn't happen,
a little panic
folks.
attack. There's a little panic attack when you see that email, like, oh, I got something wrong. They weren't, but nope. They're just happy. They're just happy with the write up. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You had a conversation came with that people. A lot of people who listen to this podcast have already heard with Pastor Rick Warren. But there's even more of it now that is available online and through the write up of the conversation you all had about kind of 2020, just a retrospective on the year.
Yeah, the conversation. We wanted to talk to him about politics, and he wanted to talk about COVID, politics, racial justice, and it's like those were kind of the three things that defined 2020 for our country, and so that's kind of the tone we took with it, just kind of like Pastor Rick kind of looking back at this year and with some great insight. And that's a fascinating piece. We have an awesome piece on what we're calling the new pro-life movement. It's a piece written by an activist who is pro-life from womb to tomb. And it is a challenging piece because a true pro-life ethic, according to this article, does not fall along partisan lines. And so it kind of is a challenging thing to, from a Christian worldview, really think about what a holistic and true definition of pro-life is.
For all you hear about, especially this time of year from Christians who I think are very well meaning about what it means to, I'm not totally Republican, I'm not totally Democrat. You hear that a lot, but usually that just kind of means, but you are. You end up choosing a side, and I was really, really impressed and like you said, really challenged by Maria's write-up on what it means for her to have a consistent pro-life ethic that has honestly made her a lot of enemies and made her some very unlikely friends. And she talks about how she got to that point and lays out what I think is an extremely compelling case for a ethic that transcends partisan divides.
It's the photos that are in the piece are of a rally that they do, and I look at it and I'm going, what side of the street are they going to stand on? They're ticking off both sides if they're at an abortion rally or the
tomatoes flying from both sides of the street.
Yeah, it's interesting. Go check it out. The photos are really amazing. Okay, well, let's just do it. I mean, let's just tell everybody. Brooke Ligertwood's in the issue.
Love Brooke.
Brooke is one of our favorite, worship artists, and tell us about that piece.
Yeah, so Brooke, we've been able to talk to Brooke a lot over the past year, sort of following her journey through the pandemic and what she's been doing along with the rest of Hillsong, and as a songwriter, as someone who's trying to lead people into worship at a time when worship is looking very different for a lot of us right now. So she pulls back the curtain on that and some of the work that she's done, not just her, but how she's worked with other folks in Hillsong United, Young and Free, to make sure that they're continuing to deliver to help people but the way that they always have, but obviously in a very new and very different context. Great conversation. Always love talking to Brooke. We have Jen Hatmaker. Oh, this is a good one. Jen Hatmaker. If anybody is worried about going home for the holidays because you think some of the conversations might be a little bit testy given political situations, cultural situations happening, Jen, who knows a little bit about that herself, has put together a guide for making sure that you can keep peace in your home while still standing up for things that are important, things that you believe in with family members, especially as you head home. So I can see how that might be relevant to some people who listen to this podcast, and I'd encourage you to go check it out.
Dude, in 2008, we were at a friend's house for a Christmas party, and my parents and I got into a yelling match about politics in their kitchen.
Okay.
I need to read Jen Hatmaker's piece. Oh, man. Lisa Turkhurst is in the issue talking about forgiveness and forgiving what you can't forget, which is a real struggle for a lot of people. Trauma is real. And how do you forgive while not forgetting?
Yeah. Yeah, and Lisa's obviously had to deal with that, and she tells us a little bit about how she's had to deal with that, what inspired her to look into forgiveness more, especially forgiving when it's very, very difficult to forgive. And so that obviously is a very dark, heavy subject, and she tackles it with her usual wisdom and her usual grace.
Yeah. And lastly, it's holiday season, and we had a lot of fun putting together a 2020 Christmas gift guide. We looked at several categories of gift giving, creative ideas, stuff that gives back, stuff that's not just materialistic, but, quality, fair trade, and thoughtful. That's the key. So here's the deal, folks. You're going to look really good this Christmas when you're giving all these really cool, creative, thoughtful presents, and we won't blow up your spot that you used our cheat sheet to get all your ideas. So go check it out.
Your secret's safe with us. You can just go down the list and buy everything, and then it'll be fun.
And we were really conscious about price point too. So there's stuff that's accessible for everybody this holiday season. Yeah, go check it out. Hey, many thanks again to UHSM for being our presenting sponsor for the issue 103, the November-December issue of Relevant. We worked night and day on this. We got sick. We worked so hard to put this out there for you, folks. Go check it out. Share it. Help us spread the word. It's free. The new issue of Relevant. Check it out at relevantmagazine.com. Thanks, Tyler. Amazing job, man.
Hey, thanks to you too. Thanks for getting this one out of the gates. It's a good one.
All right. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback, and my voice will magically be healed.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
You're listening to Sam Cooke. The song is A Change Is Gonna Come. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we knew that you'd be hearing this show on Election Day. So on last Tuesday's show, we asked you an election question. We wanted your feedback about ways that you would change the political process moving forward. How would you make the elections more fair and free? How would you make it less divisive and less partisan? How would you change the process for the better? You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and several of you started posting in the comments on the podcast episode post on the Relevant Magazine Instagram account. That was very handy. Thank you for doing that. All right, here's a few of our favorites.
Jacob on Instagram, he said this. He said, add a try again option where the parties have to submit new candidates. Like, nope, we want somebody else. Try again.
Oh, that's funny.
I saw
this is an election, but I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. Jesse,
yeah.
This is really important.
Okay.
My man said, I haven't got to the episode yet, but I have important feedback from the episode before. I work with someone who consistently commutes to work on a unicycle.
You need to do everything you can. I'd go to march down to HR right now and get that person out of the building. There's no need for that person to be here. If they're capable of riding to work on a unicycle, you don't know what they're capable of. I saw a lot.
There was a lot of feedback about the existence of land skis over the last 2 weeks, and Jesse, I think we need to all chip in and get you that for Christmas.
I would proudly rock it. I would go all around town on that thing. I ride my bike to my kids to school some mornings.
Yeah.
I would if you guys bought me land skis, I would ride them
to
school.
Your kids are small enough; they could just like jump on and like ride, like almost like when somebody paddle boards.
I almost got
little kid sits in the front.
Real talk. I almost got hit by a car today on my bike riding my kids to school, and I bet that would not have happened on land skis. I just feel like because on bikes, people just kind of it's like banner blindness when you're browsing the internet. It's like they just ignore them. So when you see someone on land skis, there's no way you're missing them. Okay, I saw a lot of people talk about abolishing, when it comes to improving voting, abolishing or at least reforming the Electoral College. Hey, the Daily did a really interesting episode. I don't know if people listen to New York Times Daily about the history of the Electoral College. It's actually really fascinating, and it exists for reasons that you wouldn't think exist. That back in the early days, like the founders thought the American people, this is pre-media, aren't really going to care about the presidential election because, they got to worry about stuff locally. How would they even know what's going on in Washington?
Wow.
And so they actually decided we'll just get a bunch of smart, well-tempered people together, and we'll just pick a president. And it sort of evolved from there. If you want to learn about the weird history of the Electoral College, there's an episode called A Peculiar Way to Pick a Leader from the New York Times Daily, and it is fascinating, and it makes it, and just listening to it, the implications are, we should probably rethink this thing.
Ryplane said on Instagram, he said, remove party affiliation labels on ballots. That's interesting. He also said, make voting a federal work holiday. So everybody has the ability to make it to the polls.
Mm-hmm.
He said, schedule all primary elections on the same day. He said, 12-year term limits. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that.
Well, for the Supreme Court, I think, though. For the,
12-year term limits for the Supreme Court.
He didn't say that. Lifetime.
He didn't say that.
There's been proposals for 14-year term limits, I believe.
I like that.
I like that for sure.
Yeah.
And he said, set rep and senator pay the same as the median income with no retirement benefits. Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's, Andrew Fell has a great one, I think. He says, no voter registration. Everyone is auto-enrolled at 18. I think that's great. Just why do we have to register?
Why do we have to do that?
Every time? Like, I have a social security number. Why shouldn't I just be able to my social security number is my voter registration?
Yeah.
Is it because the local county office needs to have a role of who's living in that county? I mean, because like they can't have 300 million names in their
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, but I mean, look, if bill collectors and credit card companies and cable companies can figure out where people live, I'm pretty sure the federal government has the resources to do it. I mean, it doesn't seem to be a problem. Who's ever delivered my mail figured out where I ended up. I would hope the government would you know. I also saw a lot of, and this is, I'm a big advocate of this, is ranked choice voting, so that you don't, it's not so binary, that you actually, it opens the field up to a lot of candidates and you rank them among, you know, which ones, you know, that way it kind of takes away the binary nature of the democratic process, which I think at this point would probably be a good thing.
That's really interesting.
So,
all right, well, there's more
ranked choices. Can you break ranked choice down for people that don't know?
Yeah, so ranked choice, I mean, there's a couple different ways, but like
it's almost like the AP college football poll. Like voters vote number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it weights differently.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the total, because if one team got a whole bunch of number 2, you know, like it moves you around.
And the effect is it encourages civility, because and it discourages people from trying to go pull people to the fringes, which is to a two-party system. The goal is not only to get people to come to your side, it's to get them to hate the other side, because it's binary. It's one or the other. With ranked choice, your goal is to appeal as broadly as possible, because that means if you're not, otherwise, if they don't rank you first, you'll be ranked last, and it'll basically nullify all of your top ranked votes. You want to be a person who can appeal to the most people and actually be representative of the most people, so that way you don't end up at the bottom of the votes. Because even if you had a lot of people rank you number 1, if a lot of people rank you last because you're a jerk, then you're going to lose. So it encourages civility. It encourages, centrist. I don't know the right adjective.
From the middle, basically.
Yeah. You know, being a centrist, it encourages people to be more representative and come together with other candidates, because no one wants to be the person at the bottom. And so it's a race. So instead of bringing discourse,
if you got 50% number 1 and 50% number 5,
you're 0.
You're number 3.
That's a problem. Yeah.
You're number 3.
So that's why instead of campaigning being a race to the bottom, who can be the most aggressive, it's actually who can raise the discourse, because you'll have the median higher votes. So I'm a big advocate of ranked choice voting. I actually think, I know they're trying it in Maine right now on local elections, and I think it's a promising concept.
That's really cool. All right. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check it out. Well, or don't, because after today, the election's over and you probably won't want to go look at that feedback and think about the election. So we'll just move on together. Speaking of which, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, Halloween's in the rearview mirror, and we don't want to talk about what probably is the reality of a elongated election season. So we're in November. We are officially in the throes of the holiday season. But the next holiday is a weird one. It's Thanksgiving. That's usually when extended families gather, spend time in close proximity, touching each other's food and hugging each other and stuff. And that's not happening this year. So since this is going to be a weird kind of pseudo quarantine holiday season, and Thanksgiving in particular, we want to know what you are going to do, or ways that we could spice up and make this Thanksgiving more memorable, more fun. So hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or post on this episode's post on the Relevant Magazine Instagram account, and tell us ways that we can make this a Thanksgiving to remember, since it's not going to be like all the other ones. Yeah?
Sounds good.
Love it.
Good one?
Love it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll use them. I'll use those ideas because I don't know what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. All right. Well, many thanks to KB for joining us today. You can follow him on Instagram at KB_HGA. Here's how you remember that if you don't have a pen and paper. His name's KB. Pretty simple. A little space then. And then his group is HGA. So KB_HGA. There you go. Also, make sure to go check out the new issue of Relevant. It is out now. It is available for free at relevantmagazine.com. Hey, soak it in, everybody. Soak in the free because it's not always going to be. Digital first, free for now. Relevantmagazine.com. Some great content. Go check it out. Tell your friends. Help us get the word out. Share it. Help us get word out. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
Derek Minor.
Stop talking about politics, everyone. We'll see you on Friday. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Wow. 48 years. Wow.
Relevant Podcast Network.